What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to address Resident Evil, talk about if it's likely that this thing shows up at Summer Game Fest or anywhere else, in the summer. I know it's a hot topic, and I also know that, when Summer Game Fest did that round one, partner program thing, all the different publishers that are going to be going to Summer Game Fest, Capcom is there. Now, I'll rain on everybody's parade in a second, but it did get people excited, and I think, there is a lot of genuine belief that it's time for Resident Evil. It's been long enough. That I would certainly agree with. I also saw a friend of the channel, Nerd Space Games, I think covered the same kind of topic as well, so just want to give him that shout out that he so rightfully deserves. But okay, when it comes to Resident Evil 9, I will just rain on the parade right away. When I think of Capcom and I think of Summer Game Fest, I don't think of RE9. It's definitely possible, and I guess I have said before, Summer Game Fest tends to have a couple big announcements, and I'm talking, when I say a couple, I actually genuinely mean that, 2 or 3. You look through that list, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of publishers that a little bit more under the radar or underappreciated games that, are probably not to the same level as Resident Evil, okay, to be fair. So could you go to Capcom for a big announcement and that be one of the 2 or 3 that's at Summer Game Fest? Yes. So I'll be honest, when I first saw the Capcom Summer Game Fest thing, my mind went to Monster Hunter. Now, I haven't played it, so I'm not talking about my own interpretation of the quality because I do want to play it before talking about that. But I have seen, a lot of other people talking about it and likening it to a disappointment, whatever the case might be. Maybe some people like it more than others, but it's interesting, how that game has performed. But it is a big game, and if you recall, really the most important part of the Monster Hunter discussion, leading in, this game was everywhere, right? Remember when Deathloop was at every show for 2 years and just literally you could not watch a gaming event without seeing a Deathloop trailer? Same thing for Monster Hunter. Now the game's out and it's performing whatever you want to say. Could you do some sort of announcement? And by the way, it's appeared at Jeff Keighley's show, so it's not like Monster Hunter has never appeared. You also have the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which came out, I believe, May 16th, so just a few weeks ago. You also have past games. You have updates and roster, I guess roster updates would probably be a better way of saying it. Bottom line, I'm kind of trying to look at the other under the radar. Not really, look, the Fighting Collection is big in that community. Monster Hunter is huge in that community. None of them are necessarily small. So when I say under the radar, I'm just saying, when you look at Capcom as an entity, what do they have beyond Resident Evil? Now, to be fair, okay, I'll throw it a bone now. And I did say this actually when we looked through all the partners that are going. If you look at what's coming, that's where it's actually less, you have a couple things here and there. Obviously, Okami 2 was just announced. I mean, Capcom has that connection also with Jeff. They did a few announcements, at the Game Awards, but that actually would bring me hope, right? Because Capcom's going, and you say, okay, well, what do they have coming out? I mean, they do have some stuff, but Resident Evil is the big one, of that group, and it's the one that just has not when I say uncertainty, because that's kind of what I want to say on it. It's we just don't know when it's going to get announced, right? We definitely know it's coming, but it's in a weird space right now. So, okay, you have all that. So my honest prediction is no. My honest prediction is no, it's not going to be at Summer Game Fest. I do think it should be somewhere this summer. I know I've seen a lot of people doing the comparisons of when these different Resident Evil games get announced and when specifically, in June is normally a pretty good month. There tends to be, and I think I've done videos on this in the past too, there is a tie to PlayStation more often than not. Oftentimes it's, I believe, at State of Play. So that's something to keep an eye on when it comes to, does PlayStation have an event? So that's one. You have the Xbox event. The default, maybe cop-out kind of answer from me is just do your own, Capcom Presents, right? I think that's what they call it. Because I'm big into Pragmata. I really want Pragmata to exist again. And again, they have games in the future. 2026 might be one or two, they might have 2-ish games every year, 2026, 2027, so on and so on. So I do think you could have your own show because it's not the lengths of the Xbox event. You could do, and I mean, it's not like they haven't done it before. They've done a show and announced 4 things, right? Remember they would do Dragon's Dogma. They announced RE9. Remember that one? So it's they've done these shows before where you can only do 3-4 things. It takes 25 minutes. They might not want to do that. And again, I think that opens up the other ones. So I'll predict no, but I will predict, like, keep your eyes peeled, because it does make sense. It is the right time. And maybe I want to lean, into that PlayStation Connect. If PlayStation does a State of Play in June, I think I would be like 50-50 on that one. This one, I'd be like maybe 20-80, 20 expecting it, 80% not expecting it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Where do you think this game will appear, if anywhere? Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.